Welcome to Raka's World. We talked about the Lingayat community in the last video and we'll continue with the same community in this video too, but we'll not talk politics. Lingayats have always been the target, be it the Britishers or the Nizam, the ruler of Hyderabad state. The Britishers have tried to, separate the Lingayats from the rest of the communities, rest of the mainstream. They used the census to drive a wedge between the mainstream and the Lingayat community. The 1871 census has identified them as a separate group, and the 1881 census has bracketed them as Shudras as part of the Hindu society, larger Hindu society. And the 1891 census separated Veerashaivas from Lingayats, and that sowed the seeds of discord between the two Shaivite communities. Several British officers, starting from 1840s, like P.C. Brown, C.R.R. Carr, Enthoven and others had done a lot of studies on the Lingayat community and tried to create a narrative that they were separate from the rest of the mainstream, and this is at the root of the problems that Lingayat community is facing today. But more dangerous was the attempts during the Nizam's era. Lesser known, less talked about, but this is also one of the major challenges that the Lingayat community faced. In the early 1920s, there was an attempt to convert the Lingayats into Islam. There was one preacher by name Sayyid Sadiq Hussain. He was born in Balampet in Gulbarga district, and he was a Qadri Sufi. And this man studied Islam in Madras, Lahore, and also in Hyderabad. And he had very fancy ideas. In 1922, when the Belgaum Congress was happening, he went and met Mahatma Gandhi and told that the solution to the Hindu-Muslim problem in India lay in converting all the Hindus to Islam. And he gave this suggestion to Mahatma Gandhi. He said all Hindus must get converted to Islam to solve the problem of Hindu-Muslims. And this man came back and he organized he formed several organizations. One such organization is known as Deendar Anjuman. After preaching conversions to Islam, after fighting the Shuddhi movement of the Hindus, he suddenly one day he announced himself as Channa Basaveshwar Siddhiki. He said he is Kali Avatara, the 10th Avatara, which was supposed to come later. And he said, I am Kalki. And then second thing he did was, he renamed himself as Channa Basaveshwara. Basaveshwara is the founder of the Lingayat community. Channa Basaveshwara is good Basaveshwara. And he called himself Deendar Channa Basaveshwar Siddhiki. And he started propagating among the Veerashaivas and Lingayats that he was the avatar of Kalki and that Nizam was the Dharma Raja, the righteous king. And he wanted all the people to align with the Dharma Raja in the future battle that would be fought in Kurukshetra between Kauravas and Pandavas. And he said Nizam would head the Pandavas and was the Dharma Raja. Very fancy idea, but then he used this analogy and he started preaching something very interesting. He preached what is known as Pancha Shanti Marga among the Lingayat communities, the path of 5 principles of peace. The first principle was Eko Jagadishwara, only one God. Second is Eko Jagadguru, only one prophet. So the first one and the second one have bared the intentions of Deendar Channa Basaveshwar Siddhik. He was talking about one God and one prophet. The third was Sarva Avatara Satya, all prophets. He was actually meaning Jesus, Musa, and all these prophets, not the Hindu prophets. And then Sarva Dharma Grantha Satya, that's the fourth formula. All the religious scriptures are true. And the fifth one is Sammelana Prarthana, which means common worship. Going to a common place of worship, as against the Hindu practice of individual worship or worship at home, or different forms of diversity of worships that the Hindus have. So these 5 principles that he laid out were nothing but, with slight degree of change, they were the cardinal principles of Islam. So he tried to preach Islam in the guise of Channabasaveshwara religion, Basava religion, and his target was Lingayats. The Lingayat, he even, very interestingly, in 1934, he formed another organization which is known as Tahreek Jamaat-e-Hizbullah, the movement for the community of the Party of God. He raised an army and he sent this army to fight in the Pathan borderlands of Afghanistan and Pakistan. And during this period, he wrote 2 books. One of the book was known as The Practical Science of War. The second was known as The Principal Armies of Asia and Europe. Both totally disconnected with religion that he was preaching. They were talking about martial activities, military activities, forming of militaries and fighting wars in different parts of the world, particularly Afghanistan and other places. The headquarters of this organization that he founded was in Asif Nagar of Hyderabad. It is a banned organization now, but then the office is still there. And he called it Jagadguru Ashram Sarvar Alam Khanka. So he tried to call himself the Jagadguru. So this was how he tried to lure or wean away the Lingayats, convert them to Islam. But the Lingayats have seen through this game, and by his own accounts, he says that there were 24 attacks within 1 year against him from the Lingayat community. The Lingayat community never accepted his religion. Very few people got converted, and even they were brought back by the Lingayat community. And his whole plan to convert the Lingayat community and make them Muslims in the areas that were controlled by Nizam has come to a naught. His own accounts, the stories of his supporters and his followers say that he raised an army to fight against the Indian military in 1948 when Hyderabad was annexed. And his history says, his biography says that there were 27 points where the Deendars have offered resistance. Later he got arrested. He was in jail for some time. In 1951 he was released, and 52 he passed away. It was an aborted attempt to convert the Lingayats, and that failed because of the vibrancy of the community and the support it got from the rest of the society. And this organization, founded by Channabasaveshwar Siddiq, remained in the sidelines, and nothing was heard about it till 1990, till the time period between 1999 and 2004. During this period, there was a series of attacks on churches all across South India, starting from Tadepalligudem to Bengaluru. The BJP government and the RSS were blamed for these attacks, and the usual hullabaloo of intolerance, anti-Muslim, anti-Christian narrative was, anti-RSS and anti-BJP narrative was peddled. Later it came to light that Deendar Anjuman, the organization started by Channabasaveshwar Siddiq, was behind all these attacks. The organization has since been banned, but then Deendar Channabasaveshwar Siddiq, or Siddiq Hussain, his efforts to convert the Lingayat community into Islam in the areas that were under the control of Nizam, the Mir Usman Ali Khan, are a very less known chapter in the history of the Lingayat community. Not much is known about these attempts, and not much is known about how the Lingayats fought back and protected themselves. More about such unknown stories from South India in the next video. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, please press the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel, The Raka's World. Thank you very much.